everyone, welcome to Gallant IAS. Let's go 120 plus. Here we discuss a model question and based on that some facts and concepts related with that question which are really helpful for your prelims 2021. So the question here is the fall or reduction in general price level is referred to as. This is a pure concept based question. And the options given here is disinflation, reflation, deflation, and stagflation. If you know the concept very well, you can easily fetch marks here. Okay, if you know what is disinflation, inflation, reflation, deflation, these are very basic terms, and you need to definitely understand these concepts. So, let's look at it. First, before understanding disinflation, deflation, reflation, stagflation, you need to understand what is inflation is. And these terms are not a classification of inflation, but a scenario is like inflation is. Okay, inflation, a general price level, a continuous and persistent general price level increase in the economy. That is what inflation is. A continuous and persistent. Continuous and persistent general price level increase. That is what inflation is. Okay, the price level of goods and services sold in an economy continuously rising. That is what inflation. So that is inflation. So what is disinflation? Disinflation is a scenario where there is a rise in the general price level but in a decreasing trend. A rise in the general price level but a decreasing trend. There is inflation in the economy but the rate of inflation is decreasing. Okay, that is what disinflation. There is inflation in the economy but the rate of inflation is decreasing. That means in the month of June, inflation rate is 6%. In July, even though there is inflation, the rate is decreasing to 5%. August, further deduction to 4%. This is what disinflation. Disinflation is not opposite of inflation, but there is inflation but in a decreasing trend. That is what is inflation. And next, deflation. Deflation is what? Exact opposite of inflation. Inflation is consistent or persistent increase in the general price level, but deflation is consistent and persistent decrease in the general price level. Deflation, consistent or persistent decrease in the general price level. That is what deflation. In deflationary scenario, in which the negative interest concepts working out. Okay, so that is what deflation. Consistent and persistent decrease in the general price level. That is what deflation is. So then, what is reflation? Recovery from deflation. That is what reflation. Recovery from deflation. That is what reflation. Don't confuse these two terms. Deflation, general price level decrease, a continuous or consistent decrease in the general price level. That is what deflation. Okay, reflation, a recovery through the stimulus measures provided by the government or central bank. That is what reflation. Reflation. If you represent these four items in a diagram, it will be like this. If you represent these four items or four scenarios in a diagram, it will be like this. This part, consistent increase in the general price level, inflation, and inflation at a reducing trend. That is what disinflation. This part, disinflation. And consistent or persistent decrease in the general price level, deflation. And the economy recovering from deflation through stimulus packages provided by government, reflation, a recovery phase. That is what reflation. So this is what these four items. Generally, in an economy, when there is inflation, the production will go up and employment rate will go up and employment will go down. So inflation is beneficial to reduce unemployment. How? What is inflation means and what is the major cause for inflation? Inflation means increase in the general price level. Why general price level or prices of goods and services, commodities increasing? Through excessive demand. When there is excessive demand for commodity, the prices will go up. Okay. So the basic reason for inflation is excessive demand. The demand exceeding supply, that what the main reason for inflation. Excessive demand over supply, that what the main reason for inflation. If there is excessive demand, that means more demand for goods and services producing in the economy, so it increasing the demand for goods and services. If there is excessive demand for goods and services, then production of that goods and services will increase. Okay, if there is excessive demand for goods and services, production of that goods and services will increase. To increase production, there should be additional employment created. Additional employment or additional jobs or workers needed to produce additional goods and services. Okay, additional goods and services created through excessive demand. So, when there is additional jobs created, then unemployment rate will go down. Unemployment will go down. Here, inflation is helping to reduce unemployment. Okay. So, there is a negative relationship between inflation and unemployment, and that is depicted through Phillips curve like this. Inflation and unemployment. When inflation is going up, unemployment rate going down. When inflation going down, unemployment rate going up. So this scenario is what Phillips curve depicting. But here comes a concept contrary to Phillips curve, that is what stagflation. A general belief is that when inflation is going up, unemployment rate will go down. But in 1970s, a scenario happened in India like that. Inflation is going up with unemployment also going up. Okay, inflation and unemployment going up together. That is a contrary situation to Phillips curve. That's what stagflation is. And growth in the economy also going down. Okay, that is what stagflation. Coexistence of inflation and unemployment. That is what stagflation. Okay, so let's solve the question. The fall or reduction in general price level is referred to as. Here the answer is deflation. Opposite of or contrary of inflation. That is what deflation. So here the answer is option C, deflation. It is a direct shoot question. If you know the concept very well, then go for it. Otherwise, don't go for a wild guess, because there is less probability to get a right answer through wild guess, because here it is a direct shoot question, less possibility to use elimination method. If you know a 50% answer well, or if you can confidently eliminate at least two options, go for it. Otherwise, don't do that. Okay. So that's all. Thank you.